Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alana and I live in my 2006 Honda Accord. I'm actually filming today's video in the first place that I ever camped when I first began living out of my car back in 2022. Which is ironic because in today's video I'm giving you guys advice if you are looking to take your first car camping trip, what you need and what you need to consider. So number one priority is somewhere to sleep. Figuring out where you're going to sleep will make or break your trip. So, are you sleeping in a tent or are you sleeping in your car? If you're sleeping in your car, where and how are you sleeping in your car? What kind of car do you have? Are you going to fold down the back seats in your SUV? Are you going to sleep in the passenger seat of your sedan? Are you going to take out anything in your car? Are you going to build anything in your car? Figure out your sleeping setup first. Also, make sure you check the weather for where you're planning on going. This is a very silly mistake to make, but if you just go thinking, oh, it's really nice where I live, so I'm going to pack a t-shirt and shorts, but then you drive up to the mountains, it's obviously going to be colder, so you want to make sure you pack blankets for your bed and jackets if you're going to be hanging out outside. But number one priority before you go anywhere is to know how you're going to be sleeping. Test it out, make sure you have a pillow and enough blankets for the low temperature at night. Next is food. Obviously, you want to make sure you have enough food to sustain yourself while you're out camping. So how many days are you going to be out camping? How many meals will you need to prepare? Then also consider, do you have a place to keep food cold? Do you have a way to reheat food? If the answer is no to that, that's fine, but you'll have to pack your food accordingly. So if you don't have a way to keep food cold, then you're not going to be bringing fresh meats, fresh vegetables, things like that. You would be finding more freeze-dried meals or ready-to-eat things that are dry. And if you don't have a way to keep food cold, it would be a good idea to have a way to boil water at the very least, because a lot of the dehydrated foods you need to reheat by using water. I have a whole other video detailing different meal ideas for when you're camping, but it's more geared towards when you have an ice chest. So if you have an ice chest, that makes it easy, but don't think that you can't go car camping just because you don't have an ice chest. There are ways around it, but just prepare your food accordingly, depending on your options for storing your food and options for reheating your food. If this is your first car camping experience, I would not advise going out and spending a bunch of money on a bunch of gear. Go, see what you like, see what you miss, and then add gear as you need it. So if you go out and you realize, oh, I really miss fresh fruits and vegetables that I keep in an ice chest, well, then maybe you get a little ice chest for yourself. That's a good investment. But don't think that you have to go spend hundreds of dollars just to be comfortable car camping. Like, you can really just make do with what you have if it's just a weekend trip. So make sure you have enough food, make sure you have a way to store your food and a way to prepare your food. Also, don't forget silverware. I always lose my silverware in my car, so I feel like I forget my silverware. But yeah, silverware is important. Another thing that's really important is water. So I always budget at the very least 1 gallon per day that I'm going to be away from civilization, plus an extra gallon or 2 for doing dishes. Now, it doesn't hurt to have more than that, but depending on the amount of space that you have in your vehicle and the amount of days that you're going to be gone, you can adjust the amount of water as needed. Next, we talked about a place to sleep as in having a bed set up, but you also need to have a place to sleep as in a legal place to park overnight. So my favorite place to find these places is on the app iOverlander. A lot of people in the vehicle dwelling community know about this app. It's amazing because people can leave reviews telling you details about the place, what there is, what there isn't. Another thing that nobody ever wants to talk about, but iOverlander is also really good for, is bathrooms. Are there bathrooms where you're going to be camping? Will you be camping near public restrooms, or do you need to pack stuff like toilet paper and a little shovel? Because you can't just go poop on the side of the road. Like, you have to dig a hole that's 6 inches into the ground, or bring doggy bags. But either way, bring toilet paper. Also, bring baby wipes, not just for your bum, but like for camping showers. So that way you can wipe off your feet before climbing into bed at night. Pro tip. So I would say go on there, look in the area that you're thinking about going camping, and just see what the options are and see if you find anything good. And then once you find something, make sure you save it on your Google Maps so you know how to find it again. Because there have been a lot of times where I find a really cool place on iOverlander and then I close iOverlander and then I go back and I'm like, wait, where was that campsite? So yeah, alongside having a comfortable bed and place to sleep, also have a place where you can legally park overnight in mind. Now, technically, these 4 things are all you really need in order to go car camping. But the last thing that I will include in this video is just comforts. So if there's anything that you know would help make you more comfortable while you're out car camping, you're car camping, and if you have space for it, you might as well just bring it anyways. Like, I have 3 pillows in my car and a really nice blanket that isn't really necessary, but I love it, so I bring it. I have a bunch of extra jackets because I get cold easily. Another example of a comfort item is right here next to me. So my window coverings that I made myself, and then these bug nets that go over the windows. Not necessary for car camping, especially if you're just going for a weekend, but having the window coverings just gives me a little bit of peace of mind knowing that nobody can just come and look at me sleeping in the middle of the night. I do have like little peepholes like around the edges where I can look out if I need to, like back here especially is a nice little peephole. So like, you don't want to completely box yourself in and not be able to see the outside world around you, but you want to make sure that the outside world basically can't see you. And that just makes me more relaxed when I go to bed at night. And then the bug netting, obviously not necessary, but it's really nice if you crack your windows. This way no bugs can get in. I also have an extra flashlight and a headlamp because I hate using my phone as my only flashlight, so that's something to consider. Do you like using your phone as a flashlight? Do you want to bring another one? Do you have batteries for your flashlight? Do you want any kind of mood lighting, like little fairy lights in your car? Because that can be nice. Do you have a way to charge your phone? If not just through the 12-volt outlet in your car, but also through like an external battery pack, or even something like I have, which is a solar powered battery pack, which is nice because if it dies while you're out there, you can just set it out in the sun. I will say it's not the most efficient at charging, but it does save me when I'm in a pinch and I don't want to just run my vehicle to charge my car because I feel like that's wasteful. Going along with the charger, if you want anything on your phone and you're going to be out of service, maybe you want to download Netflix episodes, maybe you want to download YouTube videos if you have YouTube Premium, download podcasts on Spotify, just different entertainment, especially if you're going to be out there alone. Like, yeah, it is good to like sit and have your peace and quiet in the forest, but sometimes you do get bored and it's nice to have that downloaded video or podcast or audiobook or whatever. So yeah, think about the different things that might help you be more comfortable while you're out there. And also, if you're only out there for a day or two, this isn't as important, but if you're going out for like 5 days, make sure you're comfortable. And this isn't something that I can tell you how to be comfortable. I'm just giving you some ideas of different things that might help you. But ultimately, it's up to you to know what makes you comfortable and what you need and what foods you need and how much water you need and where you're comfortable with sleeping and all those different things. So I will be making a separate video on how to deal with fear and anxiety when car camping specifically, because I get a lot of people who comment like, oh, I really want to go car camping, but that would be really scary to like fall asleep in a random parking lot or in a random forest. And like, how do you deal with the anxiety? How are you able to fall asleep? And that's definitely a practice within itself. So make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already so that you don't miss that video. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye guys!